Well, obviously very disappointed for our players, our coaches, our fans, everybody who's in the stadium. And give credit to Maryland. Obviously did enough in the end to execute to win. Thought our guys, on a short week had done a lot of really good things, preparation to get to where we wanted to be. Defensively, I thought we came out and did some things in the first half, limit their opportunities. Offensively, we, unfortunately stalled out in some red area things. Then they have that first blocked field goal. Never really saw the replay on that, so I don't know the exact specifics of that. But as soon as that happened, I knew that was going to be a key point in the game. Went in at halftime, obviously talked about what we want to do in the second half. Unfortunately, they came out and converted that first touchdown, that first drive into a touchdown, and kind of got us reeling a little bit defensively. Offensively, came back and reacted and responded very, very well. And then, felt good, took the lead. And then, unfortunately, they were able to come back and score that last touchdown that tied it up. And then the last series just complete opposite of what we want to accomplish, right? We didn't want to – the first thing I knew, I told our coaches, let's win this game. Let's not play for a tie or play safe. Let's try to go win this game. I think it's important for us as a program to try to win football games, not just playing them. So that was why – we approach things a certain way. You can't take penalty, or you can't take lost yardage. Can't take penalties, and both of those happened on that last series. So that put us in the hole. And then, I did think that a number of our guys responded to come in the game with Chase Hayden and Josh McCray to have them both do some good things, but unfortunately both of them got knocked out. And Jakari and Reggie came in and did some really good things. Obviously, the heads-up play by Casey Washington to scoop that ball up and score. A very, very opportunistic play there. I thought the play of Seth really, gets me excited about a guy that's, came into his first starting role and did some really good things. And I did like the way that our defense responded overall from where they've been the last couple of weeks to get out there and play the way they did. But really – hard one to take, one that's definitely a learning opportunity for us. And I just like I've said, to us to get to a point to win games, I think they got to feel it, taste it, smell it, touch it, whatever we want to say. They got to be able to do that. And when that happens, I think the worm will turn in a very positive way. But until that happens, we're just going to continue to have failure in key moments, and that's nothing we can have. So with that, I really don't know anything injury-wise. I know that. Chase had an injury to the other side, not his shoulder that he had hurt, and then Josh was taken to the hospital, and I don't know the results of that till later tonight to see where he's at. So we'll see where that's going.
But you had the ball in the lead. I don't remember which series it was, but it was around midfield in the fourth quarter. And got a little conservative, ran Reggie 3 times, and then Blake punted. Do you wish he had that one back to be a little more aggressive and try to score?
I don't think we were being conservative. I didn't tell anybody to go conservative, and I know that Tony wasn't trying to be conservative. If we saw Josh run for, I believe, a pretty significant run that gave him a touchdown, and those same plays and that same thinking was what was called on those plays. And if it was conservative in your mind, that's your opinion. It wasn't designed to be that way, and definitely wasn't the results we wanted, but it wasn't anything that got on there and said be conservative. If anything, it was the exact opposite.
What was the thought process at 4th and 1, obviously at 45, not without risk?
Yeah, we didn't want to, the 4th and 1, we talked about it on 2nd down, to be in a potential 4-down situation. But I really, at that point, if we weren't able to convert it, you're giving them the ball at the 45-yard line and a huge momentum and all that goes into it. I knew our punter would be able to execute in that moment. We knew that we had that punt phony situation there where we got under center and tried to draw them off sides of that. So didn't convert, but the results of that series was kind of exactly where we played it out.
You talked about these guys having to learn how to not lose before they can. You changed the message and how they can maybe grasp that sooner? I guess what's your approach this afternoon?
Well, we're 2 games in the Big Ten season, and believe me, I wish we had a win today. But you can't force the process. You can't, get them to learn anything they haven't learned. As coaches as well, the things that we got to go through to understand the situations better. I think to stick to the message is exactly what we want to do, not change it. I think our process and our guys understand it. They know it. They comprehend it. I think before they even get to the sidelines, they know the positive situations. They one of the things we talked about in the a key point, right, was the fumble play that Seth tore out, right? Like I tell these guys all the time, we have replay ability, right? But as a coach, I'm down there on the sidelines. I can challenge a play, but all I want to know is the truth, right? I want to know the honesty of the moment, because you see a lot of kids get caught up in the moment. And Seth looked right at me, and he's like, "Coach, that's out. It's out." So that's when I ran up to the official and obviously challenged the play, because they were getting ready to snap the ball and they weren't going to stop it. So I mean, there's a huge learning moment there that they learned through the process to get us where we were. So I give everybody huge kudos for that, and the results of that. That was a huge play, and then the deflator was a 1st and 10 interception. You can never have interceptions, but I could live with third down plays or something where we're trying to change the field position game, but we cannot have early down turnovers in the throwing game. Just it's unacceptable, and that's a huge swing in the momentum, but also points taken off the board in that moment. We were inside the 25-yard line, and our kicker can convert in that situation, and that would have been points for us for sure.
What do you think about Brandon's return and how he looked out there?
Who's that?
What do you think about Brandon's return?
Brandon's return. BP, I was excited today. It's the last thing I told him before going on the field. Listen, we've been together since January to get to this moment. I know he started the Nebraska game, but he never really got into the flow of it, getting knocked out so early. So I respected his resiliency in the recovery to that injury. I thought our guys were excited to see him get out there today. You see him throw the ball vertically down the field. We didn't convert on some of those big hits, but to throw the ball down the field, it's a different game to defend and can hopefully pay dividends for us in the future. And we just got to be able to convert on some of those 50-50 balls. But, I think there's some things that he learned through today's process that are going to make – he's played a lot of football. He's an older quarterback, but the things that prevent you from winning we have to eliminate, and those are part of the learning process for us.
Did you want to ride with him the entire game? Did you ever think of putting on?
No, there was a thought when the 2-minute situation came up, just where Art was at. But BP has been really good in those scenarios. We practice end of half on Tuesdays, and we practice end of game on Wednesdays. And he'd been doing those all the way up till the opener, and then obviously the last 2 weeks he's been involved in those practice situation scenarios himself. So I felt good about the moment where we're at. I don't really want to take him out of it, and then obviously didn't convert the way we wanted. I think the pressures that we gave up in the things that were in his face, we can't take a sack in those situations. You got to get rid of the ball. We just can't take a hit at that point.
You made some changes on defense with Seth, Taz, Kirby. Just what precipitated that, and then what did you think about how they?
Those guys have been playing well, practicing well. Taz has been an impressive guy going back to last spring. Without a doubt, Seth was a guy that through the first 3 games, every rep that we gave him, he just seemed to be getting better and better during practice. He does everything right. Saw the opportunity for him to get in there, and he just plays a little bit of passion, a little bit of intensity. And then who was the other one? Well, Kirby has been playing a lot, right? But I think the play of him in the Virginia game is what Ryan then just kind of just more athletic guy put him in the back end there with Sidney and Quan and again he continues to make plays, but he's a guy that's a valuable player for us in special teams. So it's kind of a little bit of all that involved. I was happy with. We made some change-ups and lineup decisions. As a running back position, we were going to go pretty much with Chase and Josh and Norwood, and then those 2 guys get knocked out. Obviously, Doug Kramer didn't play today, so to have Jarasati jump into that role as a starting center, and then it's kind of a chain reaction there. We moved Pearl into guard. He unfortunately got knocked out with a little bit of an injury as well. So the guys that we lose, it seems like it's always losing them at the same position of our top guys. So we'll just continue to ride the storm. Next man up.
To the extent after the Virginia game of to get that confidence, it'll be a play, and you'll know. This seemed from our vantage point, maybe there were a couple of times that you guys could have been on the cusp of that tonight. Did you at all feel like maybe this is going to be that moment here?
Yeah, I understand. There's definitely a lot of positives. There was some things that we've been trying and stressing and preaching and coaching, and they materialized. The simple thing like the breakaway run by Reggie and the scoop and score by Casey. That's a situation that we practice in practice. Obviously, we don't want the strip to happen, but Casey knew he was in wide open spacing, and he just gathered his feet, scooped it up, and scored it, what we call a country fumble. and converted it. All the guys started yelling on the sideline. So, you liked that moment. The frustrating part for me was, really the two moments that stand out was the blocked field goal in the first half and the interception after the strip fumble in the second half. Those were, in a close game like this, it gets down to a couple key moments and swings, and that was really the big factor.
With the pressure they got on Brandon, was that more the pass pro from the old line, or was that Brandon not getting rid of the ball?
I give credit to Maryland. Obviously, they put pressure on the passer. They were attacking our edges. They were doing a lot of speed rushes up the field. At halftime, we talked about engaging a chip block with the running backs, but I think we got to learn the feel of that. There was a play that BP took off running, actually on that touchdown drive with Josh, right? I think it was a second down or a third down. It was either a second and long or a third down where BP took off and scrambled for whatever it was, 15, 20 yards. And if they're going to apply the edge pressure that they were and they leave the middle of the void, we're going to have to do that, right? We're going to have to take advantage of that. And sometimes you can gain a first down with your legs as easily as you can throwing it. So a good process for us to learn.
I know that Chase and Josh got banged up. What do you think about that tandem? And I mean, Josh's run was pretty incredible, and Chase, I think, went over 100 yards with receiving and rushing.
Yeah, I go back to Josh, seeing his film in high school. The first film I saw of him, I just saw an explosive, dynamic, big, powerful back. And since he's arrived, he has done that repeatedly, demonstrated it. I think after the third week of fall camp, really after the first game week, if you get a chance to visit with him, that's when things kind of changed. He just became a lot more serious. His demeanor became that much better. I thought the combo platter of him and Chase Hayden was going to be something that's really good for us. Unfortunately, obviously, both of them were injured and couldn't finish it. But the next man up, Reggie came in and did some good things. I thought Jakari, gave his great effort. So whoever's in there has to step up. But I am excited about those two guys and the progress they've made.